I'm so excited to have you, Adam. Chatting a little bit about your business and the markets, and we've known each other for a long time. I guess you were a client of mine first,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
then um, bought your first house, bought your second house with
mhm.
us. So we're deeply honored. But we formed this amazing friendship as well, and business relationship on top of that. I would say friends first, and then business relationship
Mhm.
on top of that. It's been just absolutely amazing. Um, I'm so proud of you. Like I can't tell you how proud I am of like watching you grow, and it's been this amazing relationship for the both of us. And so, um, can't wait to see what the future brings. You've been you've been you're not from Austin, right? Uh,
Not from Austin, been here, but 10 years now though,
yeah,
which
10
is
years. Wow.
crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I started in real estate, gosh, 8 years ago, part-time 4 years,
Yeah.
full-time now 4 years.
Yeah.
But it's been and I feel like we're just getting started.
I mean, I feel like you've done I would say the part time stuff. Let's back that out of the equation. But the 4 years that you've been, you know, doing it full time. I mean, I feel like you've like knocked out an amazing amount of stuff, and the business has changed so much. I mean, the Austin market's like one of the most competitive markets. I feel like, at least in
Mhm,
my line of work, for sure. And
mhm.
what do you think has you know areas of success? What are the what do you think is like really any business we start off and we're always like just doing everything, and you're just kind of operating by the seats of your pants. That's how I
Mhm,
started my business, right?
mhm,
And I feel like for us, like 10 years into my business is when I started really thinking about it from a more strategic standpoint, and thinking about my days, and thinking about my numbers, and thinking
mhm.
about all of that. Like, what do you feel was, you know couple of areas of success for you, or key factors that have helped you kind of propel, I think, over the
Yeah.
last maybe 3, 4 years?
Well, I think those part-time years were
Yeah.
actually really important.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that time, those 4 years allowed me to really kind of set the groundwork, set the foundation. I was able to kind of play a little bit.
Yeah.
Did part-time, ton of leasing, built my database.
Yeah.
And then when I was thinking about going full-time, probably a year before, you
Yeah.
and I started chatting.
Yeah.
And so you really began kind of teaching me about, the metrics and how to, run this like a business. So
Yeah.
then I think when I went full-time,
Yeah.
I hit the ground running. Like
Yes.
I was prepared, I
Yeah.
was ready to go. And I think that's what really allowed me to kind of propel quickly.
Yeah.
Um, but I think, really, I think just, you know, building the systems
Yeah.
to be consistent,
Yeah.
but with room for flexibility
Yeah.
and room for growth, right?
Yeah.
I think, but the systems are really what has allowed me to, you know, measure what we've done
Yeah.
and see where we want to go.
Yeah.
And I think, I owe all that to you. I mean, a lot of it, right?
Yeah.
I think you really, taught me, these are the important things to focus on. And we did that and we
Yeah.
continue to do it. And then now we just build on top of that.
Yeah. And I
Um,
think what's so impressive for me is that watch obviously it's all your effort and work, but like the collaboration we have together, I think makes a big difference, because we're constantly testing each other and working on things. And I think you think of this word, like, people have a hard time surrendering, right? And
mhm,
just like saying, hey, let me absorb and take in the information and keep tweaking. Everyone has their own thing and how to
mhm.
do it. And you've been so good with like taking in and like implementing, and I think just listening, and I think that's been a huge part of it. I think let's level set this real quick. Tell me about the growth, right? Like, I mean, I feel last year you did how much business?
So in 2024, last year, we closed 35 homes.
Yeah.
We closed s- 69 lease transactions, which
Yeah.
is
Wow.
huge. For a total of around 20 million in sales last
Yeah.
year.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
this is fourth year into the business,
Yeah.
really, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, And you're using all the Lee stuff to help propel growth
Yeah.
in the future because a
Yeah.
lot of these clients are coming back to you. So that's amazing as well. What are we on target on for this year? What's our goal this year, right? We have
Yeah.
some goals for this year.
Yeah. So our goal for 25,
Mm.
we have to hit 26 million. Well,
Yeah.
I think we will. But our stretch goal is 30 million.
Yeah.
I mean, at the halfway point, we were at around 14.7.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we're on track.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if the second half
For sure.
turns out to be what I think it will be.
Yeah.
It'll be, I think
And it's
we'll
all
hit 30 million.
referral-based business, and just like we've been planning and
Yeah.
working at and all of those
Yeah.
things. You've layered on a couple of assistants that
Yeah.
help with all the process stuff we're talking about and kind of managing your time and schedule and so forth. It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I keep saying this, but I think we're just getting started, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so I hired my first assistant 2 years ago, and she just allowed me to really, kind of focus on our vision and then continue to expand it,
Yeah.
right? And so then this year I brought on my second assistant to now allow me to just focus on the prospecting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so I think we have everyone where they need to be, and we're
Mhm.
just dialing in the systems and continuing to build on top
Yeah.
of that.
And I know we had a ton of conversations about this when you started layering on people, because I think that's the hardest thing. Even for me, it was the really hard thing to hire my first person and
Mhm.
commit to, their success, commit to helping them grow, committing to, frankly, the salary,
Mhm.
right? But I'm proud of you for taking that
Mhm.
step and going there. I mean, I can't imagine operating without my assistant
Mhm.
on a day in, day out basis. How do you feel like that first, you had that nervous energy getting there, but then after that,
Yeah. I mean, I think the first hire was the scariest. Just I knew we had the built business to support, but I think just making that commitment and then letting go, I think was really hard too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm really hands on. I like my systems, I like my process,
Yeah.
and so finding a way for someone to kind of fit into that,
Yeah.
was tough, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like I got so lucky with my first hire,
Yeah.
and I'm just so grateful. And so now, and then I think going into the second hire, I mean, just as scary.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
committing to the salary was obviously the hardest piece. We knew where we needed support, but I think just taking the jump, trusting that it would work out. We knew we had a solid pipeline
Yeah.
ready to go. I think it was in consultation with you,
Yeah.
my coach, other mentors, that really just led me to feel confident in
Yeah.
making the decision.
Yeah.
I knew that it would take some time.
Yeah.
You kept saying, give it 6 months, give it
Ye-
6 months, and
yeah.
then things will begin to shift again.
Yep.
And we'll be at 6 months next month. And
Amazing.
I already feel like my systems have never been better.
Yeah.
I have a daily call list.
Yeah.
I know who I'm supposed to stay in
Yep.
flow with every single day. Everything that we have to do every day
Yeah.
is dialed in now. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel super supported, and I've never been so dialed in like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
which
It's
feels good.
amazing. Like, I think it's so, this business is so tough, I think, right? And I think if we think about like just trying to get 1% better every day, and
Yes.
it slowly kind of, you look up 6 months, 12 months later. And I remember like, oh my God, I thought this was so hard and it was never going to be able to do. And you and I both have heavy call schedules. And
Mhm.
I remember thinking, how am I going to make 100 calls this week? Right. And like, that's going to be impossible to do. And now I feel like 100 calls is not very hard. Actually, it's probably not challenging enough for me. Right. And so, but going back, right, to how important it is, you touched on it earlier. And I think it's a lot of miss for a lot of folks is understanding this math, right? And
Mhm.
understanding your metrics and being able to operate on these metrics. How important are the metrics that you, like, we've worked together on
Mhm.
creating them and like paying attention to them? How important is that in your daily business? Understanding like, leads and conversion
Mhm.
ratios and things like that.
I mean, it's everything,
Yeah.
right? I think like the first thing you taught me when I knew I was going full time was, Adam, you gotta track your leads, right?
Yeah.
So from day one, I've been tracking my leads.
Yep.
And that's like, I think that's like step one. And then you begin to track your calls, your
Yeah.
cards, your face-to-faces,
Yeah.
your meals. But I think tracking the leads was, I mean, it's gold, right? And I think when you say it seems simple,
Yeah.
but it's not, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it takes a lot of thought. And so, but I mean, just being able to track the leads, that's what then allowed me to know, okay, in about 3 months, this is where my business should be.
Yes.
And I knew I could feel my leads building, which gave me the confidence to then make my hire, right?
Yeah.
The leads tell you where you're going to be in
Yeah,
3 months time,
for sure.
right? And so if my lead count's down, which,
Yeah.
a couple of months this year, it's been down.
Yeah.
But I knew that meant I had to work harder,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then in July, I mean, my lead count like skyrocketed. Like it's just, I could feel that all the work that we had been putting in,
Yeah.
especially with my new hire, it started paying off.
Yeah.
And so, I think just being able to track where you're at, where you're headed, understanding your conversion ratio, super important.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think it's been gold.
Yeah, that conversion ratio is so important to us too, right? Because it dictates how well your middle of your process is, right? I mean, like we work so hard at like generating these leads, but then like if you don't convert them, then like it's, generally a issue with follow up or your systems and so forth in that middle, right? And so it's kind of this 3-prong thing, right? The tracking of the leads, but then also tracking of like the conversion of those leads to the next step and conversion to closing, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What this market is been interesting for me as well. Like I felt like the last 2 years have been really, really difficult, right? Especially 23 for us. And then 24 got a little bit better. This year's a little bit better. What are you seeing as the biggest challenges right now with clients?
Yeah. I think for us, setting the expectation, right? I think this year I have more listings than I've ever had.
Yeah.
And so with my sellers, setting the expectation up front that, look, this is where the market's at.
Mhm.
This is average days on market. This is where homes are closing
Yeah.
percent, closed to list price.
Yeah.
And just kind of setting that expectation from the beginning. And so that way, when we do hit 30 days on market, if we hit 60 days on market, they understand that relative to the rest of the market, this is okay, right? So just setting those expectations is really, it's hard. It's hard to do. Sellers think that their home is the best, and it usually is. But I think just kind of supporting our sellers and setting the expectation that this is where we're at with the market, right?
Yeah.
And same with buyers. I think right now buyers have a lot of leverage, right? But what they hear and what's reality is sometimes different.
Yeah.
And so again, setting the expectation that, yes, we have a record amount of inventory. We have they have a ton of options. But we still may not find something that checks off 100% of your boxes.
Yeah.
Right. So I still advise my clients, despite having so much inventory, if we find something that meets 90%, 85% of what you're looking for, it's something to consider.
Yeah.
And we can usually do something to kind of get you the rest of the way there.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of buyers, here there's a ton of inventory, which is true. But it leads to sometimes this inability to make a decision. Right.
Yeah.
And so just kind of setting the expectation from the beginning, and kind of talking through that process has been helpful.
Yeah. And I think that, we see a lot of the same stuff, right? Because there's so much stuff in the media and there's so much news, there's tons of inventory, some prices are coming down and all this stuff. But when you work from an area of data, right, or principle, and you can digest that data and then be able to communicate about the data, I think it makes a big difference because, there's still I feel like there's still a lot of people on the sidelines. I think, I don't know if you agree with me, but I feel like the good houses, even with a ton of inventory that are priced right, are moving fast.
Yes, absolutely. I had multiple offers on a listing of mine 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's still happening,
Yeah.
but it's not as often, and
Yeah.
it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the homes that are priced well, presented well, yes,
Yeah.
I mean, they can move quickly. And so
Yeah.
we still coach our buyers through that,
Yeah.
right? Homes that present well, they seem priced well.
Yeah.
We should check it out sooner
Yeah.
than later, because
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
chance it could go.
Yeah, for sure. And rates have come down a little bit. And so, like, you know, there's still, I feel like there's still nervous energy around where rates go and prices, where prices end up going. But, you know, generally what I see is as rates drop and, you know, you drop rates 1% and, you know, you unlock another 5% of buyers that want to kind of start doing stuff. And I don't know, I always feel like the market, you know, if you have some stability and durability with rates, then all of a sudden we go from 6 months of inventory to back to 3 months of inventory quickly,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So it'll be interesting. Let's pivot a little bit here,
Okay.
right? Tell me one, like, kind of what does your average day look like?
Yeah. I mean, I treat this like a business,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, I'm in the office Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
I'm at the office by 9. My team gets there at 8:30
Yeah.
to kind of get everything going.
Yeah.
I'm in by 9 at the latest. We, you know, typically our mornings, we start every day with a morning meeting.
Yeah.
And then we hit the ground running. I mean, mornings are typically emails, calls,
Yeah.
putting out fires, catching up,
Yeah.
tasks, right? And then usually in the afternoon, we're on the road, right? We're
Yeah.
showing property, we're doing walkthroughs.
Yeah.
And then I usually will end the day with more calls,
Yeah.
emails, and kind of,
Yeah.
you know, answering any questions that came up throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I try to be home by 6:30 at
Yeah.
the latest. And so I think that's kind of my average work day.
Yeah.
So and then you know we'll do the weekend open houses, and
Yeah.
then Sundays are kind of my day to
Relax. Yeah.
catch up.
Yeah. It's always a tough thing, right? Like, where do you find that, you know, break, right? Between like working all the time and constantly, but obviously having a team and having systems and processes helps you kind of navigate some of that. So you can shut it off in the evenings and know that, hey, we're going to do it again, you know, tomorrow, and we're going to get 1% better.
Mhm.
And, you know, you get to a space where you can have that time off, on Sundays. And, what do you like doing on your time off, by the way? You know, what is your time off kind of look like? My time off is, you know, I love golf, so I try to unwind and play golf. And that 4 hours that I'm playing, it allows me to not think about anything and break. But other than that, I'm always constantly for me, unfortunately, I'm always thinking about business and like how to improve this or how to help someone or whatever it might be, right? And so, but for me, that golf gives me that moment of like uninterrupted stuff. And then obviously you're trying to, you know, find time with family and so forth. And so, you know, what's a relaxing day for you?
Yeah. I mean,
non-work
in this business, like you could work all day.
Yeah.
Day, right. Like you got to be super intentional with your time off.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, gosh, I love spending time in my yard. I love yard work. I love gardening.
Yeah.
If you've been to my house, like you can tell everything's where it should be. Everything's in place. But I love being outside. What else? I mean, you know, my husband and I, we're homebodies.
Yeah.
We love our house. We love having people over, spending time at the pool.
Yeah.
You know, having some wine on the porch. I mean, we love just kind of relaxing and spending time together. Obviously, we enjoy going out to dinner and drinks with friends. But I think for the most part, we love just you know, spending time with our friends and taking it easy.
Yeah.
So I think like when we get time together, that's what we like to do.
You're about to have a family.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's, a lot of people might not know that. Right.
Yeah.
And that's going to be very special. My kids are older. Right. And so I think I didn't do that very well when I was my 30s. Right. And when we started having kids, I felt like I was working all the time and we were on vacation. I was just managing work and family time and, you know, but I didn't have systems and processes in place. I didn't have the right people working for me and so forth. And so it was not the way to do it, right? And I think I found a better balance later in my career, and I'm working on that all the time, still even, right? And so you're about to have a family, and are you nervous about, like, how do you manage that? I mean, luckily we've got a head start with some assistance and some processes and stuff like that. Like, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I also am, I mean, so, to build a family for us, it takes a little bit more time,
Yes.
more intention. But with that time, we've been able to think about, okay, how can we ensure that when we do have a little one,
Yeah.
like how can we make time for each other and for our family?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think we've been thinking about this for years,
Yeah.
right? And so, I mean, I think building the team was my first step in
Yeah.
ensuring that I can have the support I need so I can take some time off.
Yeah.
But I like to think that we know how it's going to play out, but I really think we have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to figure it out. I mean, we have an amazing support system. We have great friends. We
Yeah.
have family nearby.
Yeah.
And so I think, it's going to take some teamwork.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pumped. I can't wait.
I know, that's so
Yeah.
exciting. I'm going to continue to give you advice around all of this stuff, just from all the things I didn't do right. But
Yeah.
hopefully, you take 1% of it and, get the rest from everyone else,
Yes.
and it works out great. I think you're going to be awesome, awesome father, and you and Steven are it's going to be amazing. So really
Yeah.
excited about that. I'm going to ask you one more question. If you had to, like, I think about this all the time, right? Like, if you had to go back, right, 4 years,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and knowing what you know now and all the things that we've kind of done or worked together on and so forth, right? Any advice to your first year self?
Yeah. I mean, look, I think, if I did it all over again, I would change a few things, but
Yeah.
I think we did a lot right too.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But I think I'd build the systems first.
Yeah.
Right. Before I got into real estate, I was an analyst,
Yeah.
data analyst. And so data and systems and processes always been kind of in my blood.
Yeah.
But I think, I didn't know what I was getting into. And so I think I would build my systems first. I would ensure that, as I captured or as we gained, leads and we built our database, we would build some process and systems around that.
Yeah.
A lot of what I did in my early days was, on accident. I feel like,
Yeah.
it wasn't super intentional and
Yeah.
on purpose.
Yeah.
And so I think I would build the systems and process from the start.
Yeah.
So that way everything is supported and
Yeah, for
and
sure.
flow.
I feel like I didn't have this early in my career. I had mentors, but we run in this solo entrepreneur type of world, and we're not talking to our peers enough and so forth. And I wish I would have done more of that, like reached out to connect with my peers, and there's plenty of business for everyone. And I feel like when you and I started meaningfully working together, I think it was probably me just giving more advice than taking in. But now I feel like a lot of it is flipped. I feel like we meet every month, but I feel like I'm getting so much information from you because you're sharing, processes and things that you're working on or things that have worked. And you talk about your challenges, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking about those things. And so, for me, I think I look back, that would have been seek more advice from mentors and people that I respect sooner, and implement and work from a process and track my stuff. I wish I would have done that much earlier in my career, because my business would be in a totally different spot than where it is today. And I think you had a little bit of head start with that stuff, I think. So that's what kind of see
Yeah.
for sure. But I agree with you. I think the process stuff is super important, so you can kind of layer in, and you're always working on process, right?
Always,
Yeah.
always. And we're always improving, right?
Yeah.
We're not perfect. We have some good systems in place,
Yeah.
but I think there's always room to improve, always room to get 1% better.
Yeah.
And I think we think with that mindset too. Like
Yeah.
every month we sit down with the team and we do what's called a goal alignment meeting at
Yeah.
the first of the month. And we assess where we are. We kind of assess that against where we want to be.
Yeah.
And we talk about what we can do better.
Yeah.
Every week,
Yeah.
I'll look at my greatness tracker. And
Yeah.
if we didn't get it completed,
Yeah.
what can we do different
Exactly.
this next week to ensure we get 1% better, just
Yeah.
a little bit better?
Yeah.
And so I think we always think from that mindset.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's it's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. What do you see moving forward? I mean, we had a good first half of the year. You mentioned at the beginning, as we started talking here, that like you felt really optimistic about the second half of the year. I feel really optimistic about the second half of the year. It's always a little slower for me, like at the end of July and beginning of August, because I half of my clients have families, and I feel like a lot of my clients are traveling, and your school's about to start for us, and so our mind's kind of focused on that kind of stuff. But I feel optimistic. Obviously, I've got an economics background, and so I'm thinking about the markets as well and where we're kind of headed. But like, where do you feel like your second half of the year, and what are a couple of things that you and your team are really focused on for the last half of the year?
Yeah. I mean, I'm feeling great. I mean, July, my lead count, like I shared, was,
Yeah.
I mean, we average between 12 and 15 leads a month.
Yeah.
We convert at around 30%. But
Yeah.
I think in July, we had 25 leads come in,
Wow.
which for me is a lot.
Yeah, double.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so, I mean, for us, it's just like, and I mean, we reflected on where did these leads come from? And it
Yeah.
was just all the work that we did the months prior
Yeah.
that helped
Right.
capture more
Right.
leads in July.
Right.
So, I mean,
So wait a second. We always talk about conversion ratio together, right? And we always try, like I'd set the metric, like I think we had set our metric like at 20% conversion, and you're tracking at 30%
Yes.
conversion.
Last year we tracked at around 25%.
Yeah.
I think this year our goal was 25% still.
Okay, got it.
But so far we're tracking at about 30.
Yeah, amazing.
And so, I mean, yeah.
And I
mean,
think my conversion ratio, like now that you say that, I compared first 6 months last year, first 6 months this year, and we were down on lead counts. Like we didn't have as many leads as we did the first half of last year, but our conversion ratio was up from like 20% to 28% as well. And so same kind of thing. So that's amazing. 30%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But I think what we're working on this next half is, I mean, we're really focused on our prospecting.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just focused, on completing our greatness trackers,
Yeah.
making the calls,
Yeah.
getting the face-to-faces, loving on our clients, right?
Yeah.
And so we're really, really focused on prospecting as much as we can this second half.
Yeah.
And I think, my team, we all everyone is beginning to feel like they have their place on the team and
Yeah.
they know what their role is.
Yeah.
And and now we're just ready to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
I think, the last 6 months, we've been really, we sort of shifted when we brought on our new hire.
Yeah.
And so roles shifted. And I think now we feel a little bit more grounded, which now allows me
Yeah.
to spend time on prospecting
Yeah.
and connecting with clients,
Yeah.
past clients, current clients,
Yeah.
and our future clients.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're just focused on prospecting.
Yeah. 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 You and I have been working together on like managing schedules. I'm working on it constantly. How do I stay focused on what I'm supposed to do and not get in the weeds with other things and so forth? I know we talked about like the last time, like off camera, we were talking about like, your schedule and managing your assistant managing. Have you made any progress? Like how important is like having someone like help manage your emails, I guess. Holy cow.
Yes.
Your emails and your scheduling,
Yes.
right?
I mean,
I know that's a constant work, and it's a constant work for us too.
Yeah. I think, so for,
and is that a goal that we want to get that tighter over the last 6 months here?
Yes.
So that allows you to obviously prospect more, right?
Yes. I mean, so with the executive assistant, the goal is that, it takes me out of email.
Yeah.
Obviously I have to be in emails, but I want to focus on the emails that are most important. Right. And so I spend maybe 30 minutes in emails a day now,
Perfect.
which is, I
Yeah.
mean, that's where I want to be.
That's what we've talked about. Yeah.
Yes. But the schedule, we're still working on it.
Yeah.
I think we'll continue to work on it, but I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. This job, you're pulled in every single direction all day.
Yeah.
And so finding time where I'm not distracted, to where I can just be on the phone
Yeah.
is tough. But
Yeah.
having someone who's next to me, Adam, it's 10 o'clock. It's
Yeah.
call time. Let's
Yeah.
go. And that, I mean, that's been a game changer for me.
Right.
It helps me stay on track. And it just continues to remind me,
Yeah.
the important things that I need to do, right?
Yeah.
There will always be fires that come up. There will always be things that we
Yeah.
have to tackle. But I mean, we can get to them in an hour.
Yeah.
And so I think the most important thing in my day is my call time.
Yeah.
But it's also the easiest thing to push aside, and
Yeah.
because something is coming up.
Yeah.
And so having the support to keep me on track, I mean, has been super helpful, but it's not easy.
Yeah. For sure. Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it, dude. I'm so proud of you. You've done some amazing stuff so far. I'm so excited to continue to work together, and keep working on your business together. And I think you're giving me back now, like, as much as I'm giving you, and the relationship's been just absolutely amazing to work together on this stuff.
Adif, I mean, I can't thank you enough, right? I mean, I tell you this all the time,
Yeah,
but
I
I
know.
feel like, I'm here so much because of you, right? And I'm so grateful every single day. And my team is so appreciative. I mean, I'm just always so grateful.
Well, I'm honored. It's all your work. And like I said at the beginning, right? Like, I mean, I think, we're both A type of people, and we're trying to hustle, and we're doing these things, but like, you have to be open to feedback. You have to be open to taking stuff. You have to be open to trying stuff. I read something just recently that, like, I read a lot of business books too, right? And I was reading this one thing, and the rise of people's success and so forth. And like, this one guy just told me this one thing, which I thought was amazing. Is like, the question was asked, what do you attribute a lot of your success to? And you look at all the research and the data, and what you find is that his number one reason for success is just categorizing things into making a decision on things very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And is it reversible or not reversible? And I thought it was interesting when he said that, is because it was like, if I've got something, a change or implementation of something, can it be reversed?
Mm-hmm.
And if it can be reversed, I'm just doing it. If it could not be reversed and could cause major issue, then I take time to think about it. For me, I overanalyze stuff, right? And so some of the small things that that sat with me, and some of the small things that I think about, like, this can be reversed. I just make the decision and go. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, because if you're not failing at stuff, you're not really trying, right? And sometimes I'll get hung up on, like, should I implement this software or not? And it's like, is it reversible or not? And if it doesn't cause major damage, then let's do it and go, right? And this just stuck with me, and I just recently read this stuff. And so I think that's one thing about you, that, you're open to this. Like, when we talk about stuff, you're open right away to say, hey, yes, this makes sense. Let me try this, tweak it, whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously it's been paying some dividends.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Love it.
Listen, I appreciate you so much for everything you're doing. My team appreciates you. We have success together, and everything you've kind of shared with us has been, like, working together has been amazing. Our team loves it. And so I'm honored to be part of your success and all of that. We really appreciate you.
Yeah. Adif, I couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sweet.